The millionaire's son never walked until he discovered an amazing secret revealed by his nanny. Tyler Harrington stared at the shimmering chandelier above him, its crystals dancing like stars. He sat in his plush, marble-floored living room, surrounded by the hollow echoes of laughter from others while he remained completely still. Imagine, he thought, if the world could see me as I am, not just the millionaire's son in a wheelchair. He felt trapped under the weight of his father's expectations, as if every smile flung his way was just a mask concealing their pity. His fingers clenched around the arms of his chair. Tyler was bright and introspective, with dreams that soared beyond his father's tightly held vision. He longed for independence, for a sense of belonging, but he was often left drifting between the manicured lawns and perfect homes of his suburban neighborhood, isolated from a world that never quite accepted him. Mabel, his ever-nurturing caregiver, had been a constant in his life, creating rays of sunshine in his long, lonely days. "Life isn't just about the inside of these walls, Tyler," she would tell him, her chocolate-brown eyes filled with warmth. She had her own story, one of resilience that inspired him to look beyond his confinement. One afternoon, as sunlight streamed through the windows, painting golden patterns on the floor, she took a deep breath and shared a family secret that ignited hope in Tyler's heart like a flame. "There's something, Tyler, something secret, something powerful," she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "A way, a method, handed down through generations. It could help you walk again." The words hung in the air like a spell, and Tyler's heart raced. What if he could reclaim a part of himself he'd long thought lost? Hope mingled with fear. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Determined to grasp this chance, Tyler practiced in secret, pouring every ounce of willpower into each attempt. He could feel strength building inside him, an eagerness born from hope. But the world around him was relentless. When he finally invited his father to witness his progress, he could feel the walls closing in. "This is all nonsense," his father said, skepticism dripping from his words. The disapproval was palpable, a sharp knife cutting through Tyler's heart. Suddenly, everything felt heavier. Could he prove himself worthy of love in a world that seemed to judge him for daring to dream? Mabel whispered encouragement, her belief unwavering, yet Tyler was torn. He faced the dual burden of societal scrutiny and his father's harsh gaze. As the whispers and rumors of his journey began to circulate, he realized the divide between his heart and his family's expectations was not just a simple gap, it was a chasm. Standing on the precipice of change, Tyler felt a surge of determination. He wasn't just fighting to walk again, he was fighting for acceptance, for his own identity. The weight of the elite community pressed down on him, but within him, a spark ignited. Would he rise above it all, reclaim his life, and challenge the very fabric of his family's legacy? Or would the shadows of doubt and rejection snuff out his light? The possibilities swirled like a storm, leaving Tyler holding his breath for the answer that lay ahead. The morning light trickled through the large windows, casting golden shadows across the expanse of the living room. Tyler sat there, his heart thundering with a mixture of anxiety and anticipation. Today was the day he planned to try standing up again. He could still hear Mabel's gentle voice in his head, urging him to believe in himself, to reach for the stars. But as he gazed around the sumptuous surroundings, doubt crept back in, like a thief ready to steal his courage. "How could I measure up? What if I fail?" he thought, feeling the weight of those moments he had already conquered start to hang heavy on his shoulders. His recent attempts to stand had been both exhilarating and exhausting. The very thought of succumbing to failure was enough to freeze him in place, but deep down, Tyler could feel a fire igniting. He may have been a millionaire's son, but he was also a fighter, a truth whispered by Mabel many times before. Determined to push aside his insecurities, he wheeled himself toward the wall for support, gripping the armrests tightly as he summoned the strength he had gained from each secret session with Mabel. With every ounce of willpower, Tyler pulled himself up, gradually taking his limit before collapsing back into the chair. He felt breathless. That familiar rush of exhilaration washed over him anew. Again, he whispered to himself, a mantra filling the corners of his mind. With a deep breath, he steadied himself for another attempt. The world outside hummed along, business as usual in their lives, while Tyler was in his own personal battle, a battle that felt both monumental and trivial at the same time. His heart thudded in his chest, each beat a reminder that he was alive, fighting against the odds. He took a moment and closed his eyes, envisioning the life he'd read about in novels, the life where he wasn't just the heir to Harrington Enterprises, but a man taking bold steps on his own. Summoning every last reserve of strength, Tyler pushed against the armrests. This time, he rose slowly, feeling the rush of adrenaline as he stood there, slightly swaying as if the ground below wanted to give way. The brief euphoric thrill mixed with fear as he opened his eyes, glancing toward the mirror reflecting his hesitation. He caught a glimpse of his father standing in the doorway, arms crossed tightly, his expression unreadable but disapproving. "What do you think you're doing?" he barked, his eyes narrowing with skepticism. The words dug into Tyler like cold steel, almost crippling him with disappointment. "I'm trying to walk," Tyler replied, his voice steady, though it trembled at the edges. "For what? To prove something to everyone? To fulfill some pathetic fantasy?" His father's words stung, lashing out at the vulnerability Tyler wore like a shield. But today was not about his father. Today was for him. Renewed by his flicker of self-determination, Tyler took a breath and focused on the ground below. He could feel the thrum of blood in his veins, his body's resilience urging him forward. He wouldn't let anyone dictate his journey. As he stood taller, though still teetering, something within him shifted. The possibility of failure began to fade, giving way to a belief he longed for. Just then, Mabel appeared, having heard the commotion. "Tyler," she whispered, all coloring her voice, "you're doing it. You're standing." Staring into her eyes, he felt a rush of warmth spread through him, this moment igniting a path toward hope he had never fully embraced. But just as the excitement bloomed, he realized the looming shadow of his father's disapproval was still present, a barrier blocking his way. Was he strong enough to face them both? With renewed determination, Tyler steadied himself for one more push. The journey ahead was unclear, but there was one thing he knew deep down: he had to try. Would this be his moment of change, or would the doubt drag him back? As he took a slow, deliberate step forward into uncertainty, the weight of expectation still loomed large, but he stepped into a world that felt more like possibility than prison. He could almost taste freedom. Would he finally find a way to reclaim his life, or would the echoes of the past haunt him forever? With a surge of bravery pulsing through him, Tyler took that first step. It was nothing more than shifting his weight forward, yet it felt monumental. The room seemed to hold its breath, suspended in anticipation. The light from the windows danced on the floor, as if cheering him on. "Just keep going," Mabel urged softly, her gentle encouragement bubbling inside him like a warm tide. Tyler steadied himself on the armrest, gripping tightly, feeling the cool material against his palm. He navigated that fleeting moment, caught between anxiety and exhilaration. For the first time, the shadow of his father's voice faded to a distant hum. Tyler raised his gaze, locking eyes with Mabel, who wore an expression of pure joy. Her faith in him acted as a tether, guiding him away from self-doubt. The second step came. Then the third. Each one felt like an electric surge, a burst of energy connecting him to the ground. He couldn't help but smile, the corners of his mouth lifting in disbelief. Was it possible? Was he really doing this? "Tyler!" Mabel clapped, her eyes sparkling. He felt an overwhelming urge to laugh, to shout, to cry. The mixed emotions swirled inside him, a concoction of sheer triumph and buried fears. But even amidst this chaos, he sensed his father's lingering presence. Would he ever accept this version of his son? "Dad, watch!" Tyler called, the words spilling out before he could weigh them. He glanced at his father, still standing in the doorway, a frozen monument of disapproval. For a brief moment, he hoped for recognition, for validation, but all he got was silence. "Why are you still here?" Tyler's voice was sharper now, cutting through the air like a knife. The surprise registered on his father's face, a mixture of bewilderment and something else, perhaps even a hint of concern. It was fleeting, but for Tyler, it ignited a spark. "Do you think I'm doing this for you?" he pressed, thrusting his chin defiantly into the air. "I'm doing this for me. I want to stand on my own, to take back what's mine." His heart raced, each beat feeding the fire inside him. Gravity seemed to shift as he took another step, emboldened by his own words and something deeper, a sense of purpose. "Tyler," Mabel spoke again, her voice barely above a whisper. "You have to focus." But he was lost in the moment, stepping away from the past and inching toward a future that sparkled with possibilities. Suddenly, his feet stumbled, and for a breathless second, he felt the ground rushing up to meet him. Panic flared, but he froze, refusing to surrender to fear. Drawing all his strength, he planted his feet firmly and steadied himself. A rush of exhilaration flooded his veins. He was still upright. Every doubt that threatened to pull him down melted away, replaced by a confidence blossoming in his chest. This was just the beginning. Mabel stepped closer, concern etched on her features. "Breathe, Tyler. You're doing amazing, just breathe." He looked at her, the unwavering support of the one who had seen him through his darkest days. Ignoring the skeptical gaze of his father, a determination overshadowed all trepidations. "Next time, I'll run," Tyler challenged, a smirk playing on his lips. "Let us not get ahead of ourselves." Mabel laughed, but her eyes gleamed with hope. The laughter echoed, wrapping around Tyler like a warm embrace, reinforcing the boy in the mirror he had only just begun to recognize as himself. Each echo of joy became a promise. But as he took another step, the question loomed, harsh and cold: could he truly break free from the chains of expectations? Could he become the man he envisioned? Tyler felt the earth below him shift. The journey wasn't just toward standing, it was toward living, fully and authentically. What if this is just the beginning? He thought, as excitement and anxiety mixed within him. Just then, Mabel's voice cut through his thoughts. "You feel that? That's the power of your choice." As the door behind them creaked slightly, Tyler turned, sensing an impending shift. What lay beyond the threshold? Would he take on the world outside, or retreat back into silence? With the taste of freedom on his lips, he took a deep breath, ready to face whatever came next. The stakes had never felt higher. What secrets would unfold as he stepped into a life he had always wanted? With a deep breath, Tyler gathered himself, glancing again at Mabel, whose faith in him felt like fuel. He felt the warmth of her encouragement wrap around him, pushing him forward as he stepped toward the door. Each movement, empowered by her belief, was both exhilarating and terrifying. "Let us do this together," Mabel said, as she stepped beside him. Her presence felt like an anchor in the tide of uncertainty. Tyler pushed the door open slowly, revealing an expanse of sunlight and fresh air. The outside world buzzed with life, a vibrant tapestry of colors and sounds, each beckoning him to join. Birds chirped, children laughed in the distance, and the sun hung bright in the sky, bathing everything in a golden glow. Mabel took his hand, a reassuring squeeze that sent a rush of courage through him. Together, they stepped outside. The grass felt cool underfoot, a soft cushion against the firm ground, welcoming him into this new adventure. He found himself smiling wider, a feeling of elation rising like a wave, chasing away the shadows of doubt. "Look at that!" Mabel exclaimed, pointing toward a small hill nearby. "That view is amazing! We should check it out." Tyler's heart raced with anticipation. "You think I can make it up there?" She nodded vigorously, her eyes sparkling. "Absolutely. One step at a time, right?" His pulse quickened. A hill meant more steps, more challenges. But here, in this moment, before the open sky and endless horizon, he felt ready to face whatever came next. "Okay," Tyler said, determination setting his jaw. "Let us climb." The ascent began slowly, each step a small victory. They climbed side by side, Mabel guiding him with gentle words, showering him with reminders of how far he had come. With each upward movement, Tyler could feel the doubt clawing back, but he pushed it aside, focused on the laughter and encouragement. They reached the top, and Tyler paused for breath, astonished by the view that greeted him. The landscape unfurled like a colorful quilt, stretching out in every direction. Everything seemed brighter up here, the world a little freer and lighter. "Wow," Tyler breathed. "It's amazing." "Just like you," Mabel said, nudging him playfully. A light laugh burst from her, and he joined in, the sound echoing against the clear sky. In that moment, he felt untouchable, like nothing could hold him back. But then he caught a glimpse of his father's shadow through the doorway behind. A bitter chill washed over him, the familiar weight of harsh expectation creeping back into his chest. Would his father ever understand? Could he ever break free from the relentless grip of comparisons and disappointment? "Tyler?" Mabel's voice cut through the fog of his worry. "What's wrong?" He sighed, trying to shake off the nagging thoughts that trailed him like shadows. I'm scared. What if I can't keep this up? What if I fall back?" "Then we'll get back up," she said, unwavering. "You're on this journey for you now, not him." Her words sank deep, igniting a flicker of resilience inside him. He couldn't dwell on his father's disapproval any longer. This was his life, his choices. "I can't let fear keep me from this moment," Tyler said quietly. "I want to find out who I really am." "Good. Trust yourself, Tyler. You have the strength within you," Mabel encouraged, the warmth of her voice wrapping around him like a safety net. As he turned back to the view, a sense of clarity washed over him. This was where he belonged, in this moment, surrounded by support and the promise of the unknown. For the first time, he could see the mountain of potential stretching before him. But just as he was embracing this newfound resolve, the silence from the doorway crashed into his thoughts again. What lay beyond was still an uncertain mystery. "Let's take another step forward," he said, newfound determination flooding his veins. Just then, a voice called out from behind them. "Tyler! Are you coming back?" It was his father. Tyler froze, his heart hammering. Would he turn back to face that looming figure, or keep climbing toward his future? The call echoed, heavy, with expectations sealing his choice in the air like a thick fog. In that moment, everything felt suspended, his thoughts, dreams, and fears swirling above the abyss of uncertainty. Would he take the leap, or retreat? Would this be the moment he decided to embrace his truth, or an opportunity lost? As he turned, the weight of his decision suddenly felt all too real. Tyler's heart raced as he faced the daunting figure of his father standing in the doorway. The sun shone brightly, illuminating the harsh lines of his father's face, a reminder of years spent under the weight of those expectations. "Tyler!" His father called again, impatience edging his voice. "What are you doing? We need to talk." Mabel squeezed Tyler's hand tighter, a silent encouragement. He turned his gaze back to the horizon, a sight so beautiful and full of promise. How could he walk away from this? But the shadow of his father's disappointment loomed larger, more defined. "I don't want to be who you want me to be anymore," Tyler said, surprising himself with the strength of his voice. It was a statement that felt like a fire igniting within him an undeniable truth. "Don't be ridiculous," his father snapped back, his tone sharp and angry. "This is childish. You need to come back and take your responsibilities seriously." Tyler's breath caught in his throat. Responsibilities, the very word felt like chains binding him to a life and a path he didn't choose. "I can't keep living like this, Dad," Tyler shouted back, the words spilling out like a dam breaking. "I need to find out who I am. I need to be happy." A silence hung in the air. Mabel watched him, her eyes wide with admiration. "Happy?" His father scoffed, incredulous. "What does that even mean? You sit there on your high hill, dreaming of a life that doesn't exist." It stung. The laughter and joy from the summit felt miles away now, swallowed by the harsh reality of his father's words. Tyler's resolve wavered like a flickering candle in the wind. Mabel stepped forward, her voice soft yet resolute. Tyler deserves a chance to find his happiness, just like anyone else. You can't keep him locked away in your expectations. Tyler glanced at her, astonished. No one had ever stood up for him like this before. And who are you to speak? His father snapped at Mabel, eyes narrowing. You're just a nanny. Tyler felt a surge of anger. No, she's much more. She's been there for me at every step. She sees me. His father shook his head, disbelief written across his face. You're making a mistake, Tyler. This isn't how the world works. You think you can just run away and everything will be fine? A part of Tyler wanted to retreat, to escape the confrontation and the certainty of his father's judgment. But another part fought to surface, a deep, bubbling desire to assert himself. What if I'm not running away? Tyler shot back, an unexpected confidence bursting forth. What if I'm finally running towards something? Or someone? His pulse raced, the stakes now higher than ever. The simplicity of the hill became a mountain, the choice before him not just a step but a leap into the unknown. Mabel smiled gently, her presence anchoring him. You have the power to make this choice, Tyler. Don't let fear control your life. Stop. His father's voice cracked with frustration. You will regret this. You will end up exactly like those dreamers you see on the street. Tyler's eyes hardened, a resolve solidifying within him. It wasn't just about today. It was about claiming his own narrative, his own destiny. I'm not afraid of failing anymore, Dad. I'm afraid of never trying. With that, he turned back to the hill and the vast expanse waiting beyond it, a place filled with infinite possibilities. Let us go, Mabel, he said, ready to tackle the next challenge. But just before they took the first step, his father's voice broke through his resolve once more. You think I want to control you? I only want what's best in that moment. Tyler stopped, his breath hitching. The truth shone through, revealing the weight of parental love cloaked in fear, and a realization washed over him. Maybe understanding was the bridge to freedom. What if they could meet in the middle? Can you meet me halfway? Tyler asked quietly, looking back at his father with a spark of hope ignited in his chest. Would his father take the first step, or would this moment push Tyler further into his own future? The air crackled with anticipation as Tyler held his breath, waiting for the response that could change everything. The silence stretched on, thicker than the morning mist that settled over the hill. Tyler's heart pounded in his chest, a blend of anxiety and hope warring inside him. Had he really just asked his father to meet him halfway? His father's face twisted in disbelief, eyes narrowing. Tyler could see the storm brewing behind those hardened expressions, a deep-rooted fear surfacing. The weight of years spent demanding perfection rested on his shoulders, but now, for the first time, Tyler felt the weight shift ever so slightly back onto his father. What do you want me to say? His father's voice trembled slightly, as if cracking under the pressure of this unexpected exchange. You want to chase dreams as if they're a real plan? You're talking nonsense, and you know it. Mabel stepped forward again, her calm demeanor contrasting the storm brewing between father and son. He wants to chase his happiness. Isn't that what you want too? Tyler glimpsed hope in his father's eyes, a flicker of realization that perhaps he had been too rigid. Suddenly, the father he grew up knowing seemed to soften, if only for a moment. I want what's best for you, he replied, his voice quieter, more vulnerable. But I can't help you if you turn your back on everything we've built. Tyler hesitated, searching his father's gaze for understanding. I don't want to turn my back on you. I just want the chance to walk my path, even if it looks different from what you envisioned. The tension hung in the air, weighted with all the hopes and fears of their shared history. His father's outward composure began to crack, revealing a hint of the vulnerability Tyler had always sensed beneath the surface. Do you think this is easy for me? His father interjected, the pain in his voice unmistakable. All I've ever wanted was to make sure you were strong, that you didn't go through the same struggles I faced. For the first time, Tyler saw his father not just as an authority figure, but as a man shaped by his own battles. The realization pulled at Tyler's heartstrings. They were both fighting their own wars. Then let me be strong in my way, Tyler urged gently. I need to figure this out for myself. Trust me. Mabel's gentle nod reinforced Tyler's words, a reminder that he was not alone in this fight. She had been the lighthouse in the storm that had often engulfed his mind, steady and guiding. I can't just turn all this off, his father shouted, frustration surfacing once more. Your education, your future, it's all at stake. No! It's my life. Tyler shot back, the fire inside him roaring to life again. If I fail, I fail. But let me be the one to take that risk. His father flinched slightly, the words hitting harder than any punch. And what if you regret it? What if this happiness you're seeking is just a fantasy? Tyler took a deep breath, grounding himself. Then I'll pick myself up and find a new dream. At least I would know I tried. The two men stood staring at each other, their breaths intermingling in the cool air. The evolution of their relationship hung in the balance, contorted by love and fear, expectations, and the brave desire for freedom. After what felt like an eternity, his father finally spoke, the weariness evident in his voice. What if I could help? What do you mean? Tyler asked, trying to keep his hope in check. As the words hung there, Tyler felt the weight of their entire history shifting. Could his father really meet him halfway at last? Maybe we can find a way forward, together, his father suggested, uncertainty lacing his tone. Tyler's heart skipped a beat. Was this the change he had yearned for, or just another illusion? Before he could respond, Mabel stepped closer, her voice steady. This could be your chance to rebuild. But it starts with trust. Tyler's mind raced as an unforeseen hope surged. Could they truly navigate this uncharted territory together? In that moment, an overwhelming wave of emotions washed over him. He turned back towards the hill, feeling the call of the horizon reaching out. Let us take the first step then, he said, knowing the journey ahead wouldn't be easy but more promising than ever. But could they both really change? As they stood on the brink of a new beginning, their hearts thrummed with uncharted possibilities. Together? His father asked, this time clarity breaking through the once impenetrable wall. Together, Tyler confirmed, and with that, the air around them shifted once more, full of potential. But as they began to move, the memories of their past loomed over Tyler like shadows. Would they truly find the path to each other, or would the ghosts of expectations pull them back into the darkness? Tyler took a tentative step forward, his heart racing as he glanced at his father. The shift in their dynamic felt delicate, like the first bloom of spring breaking through the frost. His father hesitated, eyes lingering on the horizon. Mabel stood off to the side, a supportive presence who understood the intricacies of this fragile moment. So, what does that mean for you, Dad? Tyler asked, tapping into the courage that had sprung up from somewhere deep inside. What do you want? His father fidgeted, hands moving to his sides as he wrestled with his thoughts. I want you to be secure, to have what I didn't. He paused, and his expression faltered. But maybe I've lost sight of what that truly means. Hope flickered in Tyler's chest, warming him against the chill of the morning air. We can redefine what security means, together. It doesn't have to be the same path. Ocean waves crashed against the distant shore, each wave a reminder that change was constant, even among the most rooted structures. Tyler took another step, the ground feeling steadier beneath him. If we don't give each other a chance, we'll never know. His father looked back at Tyler, and beneath the layers of worry, there was a glimmer of something slowly unraveling. You really think we can do this? I know we can, Tyler replied earnestly, taking in his father's gray hair, the lines marking years of worry on his forehead. It was important to him, in this moment, to remain open to his father needed to feel that vulnerability. Mabel chimed in gently, it's a journey, not a destination. Both of you can grow and build while keeping what matters close. With a deep breath, Tyler turned to Mabel, grateful for her quiet strength. But he held his father's gaze, desperate to see if he would take this leap with him. Let us start small, his father suggested cautiously. How about I help you with a project? Something you're passionate about. I do like that, Tyler said, excitement bubbling within him. We could work together on that art show I've been thinking about. His father's brow furrowed in thought. Art? You mean like that thing you used to do? Yeah, Tyler replied, trying to read his father's reaction. I still love it, Dad. I always have. It's my escape, my way to express everything I can't say. I didn't know you felt that strongly, his father admitted, an edge of surprise in his voice. Maybe because we never talked about it, Tyler shot back lightly, sensing the cracks in the wall between them beginning to widen. But we can change that now. All right then, his father nodded slowly, speaking with tentative hope in his tone. Let us make some plans. Just the two of us. Relief washed over Tyler, filling the hollow spaces that had ached for years. Together, he echoed, a smile breaking across his face. It's going to be amazing. As they stepped away from the hill, with Mabel walking beside them, the sun peeked through the clouds, casting a warm glow over their path. Moments like these were rare, like sunlight breaking through after a long storm. Yet, as exhilarated as Tyler felt, a part of him still worried. Would their newfound connection withstand the weight of expectations? The three of them walked in sync, laughter bubbling between them, but Tyler glanced back at the hill one last time, the place where so many arguments had unfolded. It would always be a part of him. What if I can't meet your expectations? His father's voice broke through the warmth of the moment, slivers of doubt creeping back into his tone. Tyler stopped, turning to face his father, his heart pounding. What if we just focus on being real with each other, without the masks? That's where our true journey begins. His father frowned, nodding slowly. You're right. No more masks. The air felt lighter now, yet Tyler realized the next steps would test them both. Shadows of doubt lingered. Could they navigate the depth and complexity of their relationship? As they moved forward, words caught in Tyler's throat. A surge of excitement collided with fear. Could they really redefine who they were to one another? And with that, an uncertain path loomed ahead, both enticing and nerve-wracking. What lay beyond the first steps, where new depths awaited exploration? Tyler felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety as they walked toward the car. His father's proposal stirred something inside him, a determination to not let this moment slip away. Mabel's presence felt like a safety net, reminding him that building connections took time, patience, and bravery. As they reached the car, Tyler could see the weight in his father's gaze, a mixture of fear and hope. You know, Tyler, his father started hesitantly, I've always thought art was just a hobby for you. Something to keep you busy. It is, but it's more than that. Tyler could hear his voice rising with passion. It's how I see the world, Dad. Every piece tells a story. Stories I couldn't tell you before. He watched as curiosity flickered across his father's face. This was new territory for both of them. His father shifted on his feet, leaning against the car. What would you want to express in this art show? Tyler paused, considering the question. He felt the urge to spill everything, the struggles, the dreams, but that was vulnerable territory. I do want to show how we can change. How colors can clash but still create something beautiful. His father nodded slowly, absorbing Tyler's words. That sounds powerful. Mabel stepped forward, her voice light. Why don't you both brainstorm ideas over lunch? It might help you get the creative juices flowing. Great idea! Tyler exclaimed, feeling a surge of excitement. They hopped into the car, the atmosphere shifting like the warm sunlight creeping into the vehicle. Tyler stole glances at his father, noticing the crease on his brow relaxing ever so slightly. It was a small victory, but it spoke volumes. Lunch turned out to be a mix of laughter and ideas. They tossed around concepts, surreal landscapes, portraits that told stories, even abstract pieces that conveyed emotions. Tyler felt the walls that had once entrapped them begin to dissolve. Each suggestion brought them closer to a space where their past didn't haunt their present. What if we create a piece that represents resilience? Tyler asked, his eyes lighting up. Something that shows how we've weathered storms. Maybe a scene of two figures standing strong against a whirlwind. His father's expression softened. That resonates with me. I've had my own storms to face. Tyler leaned in, ready to take a leap. Do you think that if we can explore our vulnerabilities through art, we can really heal? His father looked into Tyler's eyes, sincerity etched on his face. I hope so. I really do. After lunch, as they stood under the bright afternoon sun, Tyler suggested taking a drive to the beach. Let us get some inspiration from nature. It's real raw. Just like art should be. As they walked along the shore, waves crashing softly against the sand, Tyler felt the tension ease. They began tossing ideas around, the stark beauty of the ocean mirroring their evolving relationship. They weren't just father and son anymore. They were partners in discovering what was possible between them. But just as Tyler started to feel secure in this new dynamic, his phone buzzed, jolting him back to reality. It was a message from an old friend, someone who had once shared his passion for art. The invitation to collaborate on an upcoming showcase sent a rush of excitement through him, but it also stirred a wave of doubt. Would diving back into that world distract him from his dad, from this newfound connection? Suddenly, the horizon felt both full of promise and daunting. Dad, Tyler said tentatively, there's something I need to think about, an opportunity. But it brings up old baggage. I don't want to lose sight of what we're building here. His father turned to him, eyes serious. Whatever it is, we'll handle it together. Just remember, no more masks. Tyler nodded, the weight of that promise sinking in. Perhaps this was just the beginning of a larger journey, one where connections deepened, and layers peeled back to reveal profound truths. But as they turned to leave the beach, a gust of wind caught Tyler's shirt, and in that moment, he wondered if the real storms were still ahead. Would he have the strength to face them alongside his father, or would new challenges tear them apart? With those questions lingering heavily in the air, they headed back, unaware of the twists their paths might take next. As they drove back, the salty breeze tousling their hair, Tyler's mind raced. The message from his friend replayed in his head like a catchy song he couldn't shake. An art showcase, his first in what felt like ages. Excitement flickered, but doubt drowned it quickly. Would engaging in that world pull him away from his dad? Would it unravel the hard-fought connection they were just beginning to stitch together? Hey, you okay? His father's voice broke through his thoughts, looking at him with concern. Yeah, just thinking, Tyler replied, forcing a smile, trying to mask his worry. I got a message from Sam. He wants me to collaborate on a showcase. That's great, his father exclaimed, but then his face clouded over. Wait, is that the same Sam from high school? Tyler nodded, suddenly aware of the memories tied to that name. Sam had been the best friend who moved away, leaving a void in Tyler's life. Now, he was back with an invitation that felt heavy with expectations. He's been working with some really talented artists recently, Tyler added, feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety. But I don't know, I've changed since then. His father's expression softened. You're on a different path now. You can still connect with him, but you don't have to lose sight of what's important. Listening to his dad felt like a lifeline, yet the fear of slipping back into old patterns pulled at Tyler. Can I handle both? His father glanced at him, the corners of his mouth teasing a smile. You handled me as a dad for years. I think you can manage Sam too. They shared an earnest laugh, and for a moment, the car felt lighter. Tyler knew deep down that he'd have to share the news with Sam, and he possibly would have to face lingering feelings of inadequacy. But each laugh exchanged added color to the canvas he was starting to paint with his father. As they reached home, Tyler took one last deep breath of that ocean fresh air. It clung to everything they had just shared. Thanks, Dad, he said quietly, letting the gratitude swell in his chest. For today. For everything. Just like you said, his father replied. No masks. Later, sitting in his room, Tyler pulled out his sketchbook. The blank pages stared back at him with an inviting challenge. He flipped through previous sketches, memories of all the unexpressed emotions, thoughts, and dreams he had tried to capture. But nothing felt right. He set his pencil down, staring at the empty space. His thoughts drifted back to the swirling waves, to resilience in the face of storms. Where would he even begin? In that moment, he realized it wasn't just about creating art for the showcase. It was about embracing the stories waiting to emerge, no matter how messy or raw they might be. As he picked up the pencil again, the phone buzzed one more time, the screen lighting up with Sam's name again. Tyler hesitated, a knot tightening in his stomach. Should he answer? What if this opened a door to difficulties he was not prepared to face? His heart raced as he contemplated whether to pick up, feeling that unmistakable stir of anxiety and excitement all at once. Finally, with a determined breath, he pressed the answer button, ready to take a leap into uncertainty. But when he heard Sam's voice on the other end, it twisted unexpectedly in his chest, a mix of memories and unresolved feelings cascading over him. Tyler! It's been forever. And then, Sam dropped a bombshell that would ripple through Tyler's world. I have something I need to tell you, about us. In that instant, Tyler realized he was stepping into new territory, a space that could redefine everything he had fought to rebuild with his father. Would this revelation strengthen their bond or tear it apart? The new adventure was just beginning, and he wasn't sure he was ready for the twists ahead. Tyler stared at the blank page before him, his heart racing. Sam's words echoed in his mind like a haunting melody, pulling him back into memories he thought had settled. He could almost hear the sound of waves crashing, the very same rhythm that had accompanied his journey toward resilience. But now, that comforting sound felt overshadowed by uncertainty. Tyler? Sam's voice came through the phone again, tentative but eager. You there? Taking a deep breath, Tyler pushed aside the lingering fear to meet this old friend in a new light. Yeah, I'm here, he finally replied, his voice steady yet filled with anticipation. Listen, Sam continued, I know it's been a while, and things changed. But I've been thinking about that time we created together, you doing your art, and I was by your side. I really miss that. The waves roared in Tyler's mind, both familiar and unsettling. Yeah, me too, Sam, he said softly, remembering the carefree days of their youth, where creativity flowed without boundaries. But things are different now. Right, I heard about your journey, the art show, Sam said, admiration woven into his tone. I want to support that. I've seen some incredible artists we could collaborate with, and I think we could create something extraordinary together. The excitement began to tingle within him, despite the whisper of doubt still lingering. But, I don't want to lose what I'm building here with my dad. I don't want to fall back. Falling back isn't the goal, Tyler. It's about moving forward, Sam replied, his tone earnest. You deserve to explore both sides of your passion, your art, and your relationship with your dad. Think about the masterpiece that could come from that blend. Tyler paused, contemplating that interaction, feeling Sam's words sink into his heart. There was truth in them, a challenge that sparked something deep. Okay, I'll think about it. Great! Sam exclaimed, the enthusiasm radiating through the call. And hey, I'll always be here when you're ready to talk about us. Tyler felt the tension in his chest loosen a little. Was this an opportunity to mend old wounds? Let us meet soon, alright? I want to give this a chance. Absolutely, Sam said, and before he hung up he added, I'll have some sketches ready for us to work on. You're going to love it. As he ended the call, Tyler felt a whirlwind of excitement and fear. He had made a promise to himself and to his father to embrace every moment. This was one of them. Inspiration flooded his mind, as thoughts of colors, bold strokes, and new beginnings flowed like a tide. Outside, the golden sunset cast long shadows, illuminating just how far he had come. Not just in standing but in standing up for himself among all the noise. With Mabel's presence lingering in his heart, and his father's tentative acceptance pushing him forward, Tyler took a step toward his canvas, ready to translate everything he felt. Just like that, he whispered to himself as he began to sketch, the lines flowing freely. He poured out thoughts of resilience and hope, the evolving relationship with his father, and the unexplored depths with Sam. Each stroke became a release, a way to express all that buzzed inside him, The next few days turned into vibrant bursts of creativity and courage. He worked tirelessly, channeling the newfound energy from both his connections, his father, who gradually shifted from disapproving to supportive, and Sam, who seemed to awaken a layer of artistry he had locked away. Finally, the day of the show arrived, and as Tyler stood before his pieces, the depth of emotion began to wash over him. The gallery buzzed with excitement. Friends, family, and the colorful faces from the community all gathered under one roof, celebrating not just his art but everything it represented. Mabel stood nearby, beaming with pride as she glanced at Tyler's work. There was vibrant beauty along the walls, art that spoke of struggles and triumphs, memories shared, and the endless potential of love. His father's eyes sparkled with newfound understanding, his expression one of awe not just at Tyler's work, but also at his son standing confidently in his truth. Just then, Tyler spotted Sam amidst the crowd, his smile wide as he moved toward him. "You did it, Tyler! This is amazing!" Sam exclaimed, admiring the pieces before him. In that moment of shared excitement, Tyler realized this was not just an exhibition of his art, it was a celebration of his journey, of breaking free, of love, friendship, and the realization that he could choose his own path. "Thanks, man," Tyler said, feeling warmth spread in his chest. "I couldn't have done it without you or my dad." As the night continued, laughter mixed with heartfelt conversations filled the gallery. And when the moment came for speeches, Tyler stepped forward, heart pounding with a mix of nerves and exhilaration. "Thank you, everyone, for being here. This isn't just about my art, it's about the journey we're all on." He took a breath, looking directly at his father standing proud in the crowd. "It's about embracing who we are, breaking out of the boxes others build for us, and most importantly supporting each other through every moment." Chills raced down his spine as he felt the warmth of the community around him, the energy of hope moving through the room. With Mabel by his side and the bond with his father getting stronger each day, Tyler felt unstoppable. Tonight marked not just an art show, it marked a new beginning. The realization washed over him that he wasn't alone. He had created space for acceptance, love, and the promise of a future that sparkled like the stars above. And as he finished his speech, Tyler smiled wide, basking in the glow of shared joy and connection. A promise held in his heart, the journey ahead would be unforgettable. Now was the moment to embrace the unknown, one step at a time. So, if you've followed this journey with me, it's the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss the next exclusive stories full of transformation and hope. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. You need to keep this community growing. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this ending. Your voices matter. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear this story. Don't wait not even one more second. Let us spread the message of resilience and love together.